from the City of Presidents. It's the All About Quincy podcast. This is your host, John Melly. Join me as we explore the history, hidden gems, and highlight the businesses with great stories that all tell the tale why Quincy, Massachusetts is a great place to live. Hey there, it's John. How are you? Thanks for spending time with me today. I appreciate it. Happy holidays to you. I am joined in the studio by my dog, Quinn, which is short for Quincy Adams. You know, we have to be on brand here with our canine companions here, since this is the All About Quincy podcast. Today's episode is a little different. It's a short one. There are no sponsors, but it's in line with the history of this great city. And we had the opportunity last week to go to Wreaths Across America at Mount Wollaston Cemetery. It was the first time I'd ever done it. And my wife, she said, you know what, I think I want to do this. She was reading about it, and she said, you know, I want to do this. And what they do is they place wreaths on the graves of all the veterans who served the United States of America. And she had a granduncle who served in World War I. And she said, I think I want to go put a wreath on Patsy's grave and do this. I think this would be a good thing. So we both went, and I was amazed. It was a very nice ceremony. It was a cold, windy day. And so we both went and attended the ceremony, and then we placed wreaths. And I took my portable recorder with me and just went around and talked to a few folks who were willing to share the reasons why they were participating. And I have to say that if you and I spoke and you didn't make this episode, I apologize. I tried to include everybody in there, but it was so windy that day that the microphones just picked up the wind and we couldn't really hear anything. And the wind howls enough, we don't need to listen to recordings of it. So I apologize if you didn't make the final episode, but had a lot of very nice conversations. And I have to say that I was really impressed by the number of people who were at the ceremony and who participated in the wreath layings all around the cemetery. There were 5,100 wreaths placed at graves in Mount Wollaston Cemetery, which is a testament to the service that our citizens have given to our country. And I just thought it was important to honor that and share some of the sounds of that day with you. So here they are, the sights and sounds of Wreaths Across America at Mount Wollaston Cemetery in Quincy, December 14th, 2024.
Well, thank you all for being here this morning. This is a typical Quincy response, Quincy turnout, especially when it comes to our veterans. The wreath has a long history of symbolism. If you go to the ancient Greeks, they used the wreath placed on top of the heads of the successful athletes. The Romans, when they returned from battle, the great warriors put a wreath on their heads. And over the years, the wreath has become a great symbol of Christianity. The wreath itself, being circular, no beginning, no end, speaks of God's eternity. Eternity one day will enjoy. The holly wreath, which sharp with thorns, represents the crucifixion of Christ and the berries, the blood he shed for mankind. The wreath has a lot of history, and evergreen is purposeful. You look around the cemetery, most of the deciduous trees have lost their leaves. The evergreen still continues and holds on throughout the year. Another piece of that history of the wreath. If you go to Cohane Funeral Home, you'll see a plaque in the hallway that says, the greatest gift you can give a grieving family is your presence. Father Neil Heary said that one time. Well, how wonderful today for you to be here, your presence, remembering people that have gone a long, long time. This city has made a commitment for decades that we will never forget. So when you go to bed tonight, before you put your eyes closed on the pillow, say a little prayer for those who are serving the nation around the world today. They may return safely. As you know, we live in a troubled world. Thank you for being here, and God bless, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mayor Cope.
We are here at the cemetery in Quincy with Ryan Craig, and you are the head football coach at North Quincy High School. And you have a lot of your team members here today to help out at the wreath laying ceremony, correct?
Yes.
Why does the football team do this event?
We think that the city of Quincy does a tremendous job for its veterans and those that had served and gave the greatest sacrifice. And we think that, to be here, it's very important to teach our youth and to educate them.
Are you here for any special person in particular?
No, just all of them. All of them. I think that, it's important. My grandfather and my father were both in the military. They were in the Army. And my son currently serves in the Marines.
Oh, excellent.
We just want to make sure that we don't forget, and we're thankful for all of the sacrifice that all these young men made.
Thank you for your son serving in the Marine Corps. Can you tell us a little bit about where he's serving right now?
He is currently in Washington, D.C. He's about halfway through his duty, and he's a proud Marine.
Of course, they all are, and they should be.
Yes.
Anyway, well, thank you so much for talking to me, and thank you again for bringing all the guys out. I had a moment after the ceremony to thank a group of young kids. And I said, hey, I know this isn't probably how you wanted to spend your Saturday afternoon, but thank you for being here. And you know what they said? Of course.
Well, I think these kids are getting valuable lessons here today, and the Mayor Koch does a tremendous job, and Christine Cugini with the veterans, and for them to be out here and doing this for the city, I think it's tremendous. And the kids are actually, they look forward to this day, and they come out, and it's work. It's work. They walk around, they have to look, they have to, they say the names of the veterans, and it's very important, but they like doing it.
That's great. And you know what? Nobody's going to teach them if people like you don't.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
No problem.
Hi, this is John. We're at the cemetery in Quincy doing Wreaths Across America, and I am here with
David.
Hi, David. How are you?
I'm well.
You're here with your family
Yes.
doing Wreaths Across America today, and it's a beautiful day. If I could just ask what brings you here, and it's nice to see your whole family involved.
Sure, yeah. So I'm a veteran myself. I served in the Air Force for 9 years, and so I think it's important to teach my kids the values of honoring those that came before us.
Excellent. Thank you for your service. What capacity did you serve in the Air Force? My brother served in the Air Force too.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was in military intelligence with the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
For a little while, yeah.
Very good. I'm sure the stories you could tell if you could tell them. At any rate, so there's no one here in particular that you're here to honor, but you're honoring all of them.
That's right. That's right.
And is your family having a nice time?
They're having a great time running around, and trying to get them to slow down to say the names is a bit of a challenge, but otherwise they're having a good time.
Yeah, that's actually something that's interesting that they've asked us all to do, is to lay a wreath at their grave, and then you say their name?
That's right, yep. Try to, as much as you can keep a 5-year-old still, you tell them this person was in the Navy, they fought in World War II, and we're here to remember them. Their name is fill in the blank.
That's great.
And we go off and do another one.
That's great. Well, thank you very much for your service, sir. And thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you. Good to meet you.
You too. I am here with a group of ladies, and I just snapped their picture, and so they're being nice, and they're going to answer a few questions from you today. What brings you folks here today? Do you have someone special in particular that you're here to remember?
Well, I know Matt Troy is buried here. He's recently been buried here, and my son and Matt had served in the Marines together. My husband's a veteran. My 2 boys are veterans, so just to come back and give something back for the holidays.
Yeah, it was a great turnout today, and it's cold, but it's beautiful, so it's just very encouraging to see everybody here.
Beautiful. Perfect. It's one of my favorite Christmas events there is. So we've been coming together now for a few years, right? The past couple of years, yeah.
Right. So, and Mayor Koch was right. People in Quincy really do turn out for events like this.
They really do.
Yeah,
pitches in. Do. Like Courtney, you said how lucky we are, right?
Yeah, you should be proud to be from Quincy. It's a beautiful turnout and beautiful ceremony every year.
Courtney's a mother of veterans.
Yes, I have sons in the service, and my husband's a veteran. And
Are they safe at home, or are they serving abroad now?
they're abroad right now.
Where are they?
Italy.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you
Yes.
for your son's service and your
thank
husband's
you.
service.
Thank you.
And anybody else have a veteran?
So, my husband's a vet. He was in the Navy. I come from a Navy family. My dad was in the Navy for 36 years.
My dad was in the Navy too. He served on a destroyer.
Oh, wow. So, long history of different things that my dad did. Some I think were very confidential. I'm not even supposed to talk about them. And then we don't. And then I'm here. I actually placed a wreath on my husband's grandfather's grave.
Oh, very nice.
Robert Herney, which was further up there. So it's been great. Like Laureen said, it's just you're giving back. It's just very emotional and
for their families. I think it's important for their families to drive by and see the wreaths and know that that's all the people that served, and just general awareness for the public to see all the wreaths and know how many people have sacrificed and are still sacrificing.
I think Christine too, she does an amazing job just getting everything together and just holding herself to a standard and everyone else. It's just amazing, like everything they do for the vets in Quincy.
That's great. My wife wanted to come here because her granduncle served in World War I. So she said, you know what, I want to put a wreath on Patsy's grave. And so we did that, but then I had no idea it was going to be this big. It's my first time here.
Oh, so now you'll be back forever.
You'll be back every year, I'm sure, right?
It's great. And it's quite sobering when you walk around and you see all the wreaths. There's some rows that there's like a wreath on almost every gravesite. It's amazing.
It's really psyched to drive by and see all of the wreaths after this event. Days later, you'll still see them, and it's really a memory.
Yeah. You know what I love that you said earlier, though? Joan said the folks, the young adults, the ROTC members, they come back and they reposition some of the wreaths like a certain way. She was telling me that earlier, that she's seen that.
Make sure they're all, everybody got theirs maybe?
Yeah, I just thought that was great.
Yeah, we just kind of walked through just to see if we caught a couple of them, but, some of them are hard to read just because they're so old and the type of stone that their grave is marked with.
We need a map.
Kevin's grandfather's last year, and all of a sudden, Joan and I were walking in circles, and then we found it. But, yeah, it would be good if they posted a map.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say before?
No, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Christmas.
Well, that's it for this episode of the All About Quincy podcast. I want to thank you for listening. Check out the All About Quincy podcast on Instagram. That's a great way for you to connect with us. We are at All About Quincy podcast on Instagram. When you do, you're going to get an opportunity to sign up for our weekly Quincy Happenings e-newsletter. Every week, it's going to give you a handful of great events happening around Quincy so you can plan your schedules and make plans for the weekend or whatever, happening all around the city. So go there, get it for free. Just click the link at All About Quincy Podcast on Instagram, or you can sign up at allaboutquincypodcast.com. And remember, if you've got a great event coming up or you have a great guest that you think should be on the show, we want to know. Reach out to us at allaboutquincypodcast.com or send me a message through Instagram. We'll be back next week with more fun. In the meantime, thanks for listening and happy holidays.